What's up, guys? Alright. So. Alright, so we're doing 5 awesome computer components under $100. So, what I'm trying to do is get a bunch of people into PC gaming and everything like that. I've been a huge advocate ever since I was younger. I played a lot of Diablo 2 on my cousin's computer as a child. So I'm really big into PCs. I just built my PC. I'll actually show you guys here. Webcamming it up. There it is. It's really messy here, but there it is. And some of the stuff, I don't know if you can see in there, but some of the stuff that's in there is actually on this list, which is pretty awesome. Alright, let's see if I can get this good. Get this looking good. Alright. Yep. Alright, so first thing we got up is the EVGA Supernova. Now I love this power supply for a couple of reasons. Ooh, excuse me. I'm running the exact model, only the 1000-watt G2, I believe. Yes, the 1000-watt G2. So it's 80 plus gold. This one's a little bit bigger, if you can tell. It's 80 plus gold, which is awesome. I believe the percentages are like really good. It's not that barely 80 plus gold or right under 80 plus gold. I've looked at a bunch of different reviews. I'm very review oriented when it comes to buying my PC parts, and I've been loving it so far. I like EVGA products. I'm not a big fan of NVIDIA graphics cards as it is, but I love EVGA products. I wish they came out with AMD cards again, because they're awesome. But this is $79.99, and it's fully modular. So all these cables come with it. Those are all your connections. I believe it's 4 VGA connections, 2 CPU connections, motherboard connection, looks like a bunch of SATA connections, and something else. 3 SATA connections and 2 PATA connections. I have really bad eyesight. Sorry, guys. There's all your specs right there, your hardcore specs. Basically, this thing's going to be able to power any gaming machine you throw at it, as long as it has one graphics card. It should be fine. Let's see. Alright, yeah, so it's pretty much perfect. It's one of the best power supplies on the market right now. There are a couple of higher end ones, like I'm rocking the, like I said, 1000-watt version of this, and I love it. I have had other power supplies like NZXT power supplies, Raid Max power supplies. There's another one that's failing my head right now. I've had those in this computer, and they've all failed, and I haven't had this computer for that long. So I'm a real big fan of this power supply. It's pretty nice. I don't think they're Japanese capacitors in there, but they are military grade, which is pretty sweet. Alright, so the next thing is RAM. Now, one thing I want to clear up to everybody, When you're playing your games, RAM is not really important. It's important if you're streaming, kind of. It's important if you're doing a lot of media work with videos and stuff like that. Yes, but it's not necessary for gaming. Now, the reason why I say that is because of this. The HyperX Fury, it's basically a plug-and-play RAM, DDR3, 1866 megahertz, which is fast, as fast as you need it for gaming. Trust me. And it's pretty cheap. I mean, it's not the cheapest you can get, but for the quality, I mean, I went through three sets of different brands of RAM before I got Corsair HyperX Fury RAM in my system, and they're the only ones that actually came working, which is pretty awesome. And I wanted them in the first place because not only are they in this sleek black, which looks beautiful, and by the way, labeling is 100 times better than a lot of the other brands out there. It's just plain, simple, nice and easy. But they also come in white, which, I mean, look at that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And the white's a little bit more. Price tag's over $100. But it's still, I mean, if you want white, I'd just say go for it. It's like $8 more. Might as well. They also have red. Beautiful. And light blue. And the good thing about this RAM, you're not going to be paying much more if you upgrade later. So if you want to upgrade from 8 to 16, you're not going to be spending a ton of money over a 2x8 gigabyte pair. You're not. I think it's like $20 total. So you get white should be fine. So you get 2 whites, 102. So that's 104. Essentially the same price. A little bit cheaper on the 2x8 gigabytes, but if you're in a bind, financial troubles and everything like that, the 2x8 or 2x4 works perfectly. Especially for gaming, you're not going to need anything more than that. And like I said before about the EVGA Supernova, I am running HyperX Fury in my system, so it's pretty awesome. That's about it about these guys. I like Kingston HyperX RAM. I really do. They've always been good to me. I've tried other brands and everything like that. Didn't work out. Now, the second one, or the third one, is going to be kind of a little weird because it is a LGA 1150 Z97 chipset. Actually, oh, it is compatible with Z87. Yeah, Z87. It is compatible with Z87. Now, just base clock and everything like that, it's not that great of a processor. If you go buy an i3, it's most likely going to beat it. But the amazing thing about this is that the 3.2 base frequency right here can overclock to 4.8. This is actually going to be my next project, and it's dropped in price again. So before I mean, the lowest I saw it was $69.99, then it dropped, went to $59.99. I almost got it then. Now it's at $54.99. I'm planning on building this, and it looks like a pretty awesome processor. Just to play around with, overclock, all that fun stuff. So, I mean, if you want proof of how fast it can be, go check out Linus Tech Tips. They made a video about it. Tech Syndicate made a video about it. Trying to think who else made a video. I'm sure Tech of Tomorrow made a video about it, and I'm pretty sure Paul's Hardware made a video about it, but don't quote me on that one. It's celebrating 20 years of the Pentium brand, which is pretty cool. It's not like an amazing card for just base clock doing anything other than maybe normal processes and a little bit of gaming, but when you overclock it, it's fantastic. It's pretty good for gaming when you overclock it. Not much is going to bottleneck at 4.8 gigahertz. So, all right. So for is this the third or the fourth? This is the fourth. Number 4. So I went with a Z97. Itchy ear. I went with a Z97 motherboard. This is actually the motherboard that kind of pairs up with the Intel Pentium G3258. If you didn't know, that's what it's called, the G3258. Now this is the ASRock Micro ATX DDR3 motherboard. I don't know why I said DDR3. It's the Z97M anniversary. Let's take a look. It doesn't let me zoom in. So I'm guessing it was released for the Intel Pentium processor, the 3258, which is pretty awesome. It's not that expensive, and it's a Z97. It's the most updated chipset out for Intel. There's nothing really much to say. It's got the 4-channel DDR3, or yeah. It's got one PCI Express 3.0 slot, which is perfectly fine if you're using something small. You don't need a monster like 3 graphics cards slots in there. And if you honestly, it's not too important to have that. And now this motherboard isn't like crazy, but I mean it's a Z motherboard, so it can be overclocked, which is a good thing. It's got 6 SATA 3 ports. It supports RAID 0, 1, 5, and 10. 4 USB 3 ports, and then 8 USB 2 ports. This is actually a really good motherboard. It's even got PS2 ports for keyboard and mouse, and then your basic like graphics ports and audio ports and everything like that. 1 RJ45 LAN port, and it looks like a good combination with the Pentium 3258. Combining these two, I mean that's pretty intense. Now, the last thing is mainly just for the overclockers. It helps out quite a bit with overclocking. It's on par with the gigantic Noctua coolers, the air coolers with like 4 fans in them. And it's just hitting that point where it's almost over. It's going to be over $100 with shipping, unless you have Amazon Prime, or I think it's like, well, you're going to be spending over $35 if you are getting any of these parts. So it should be free shipping. It should be fine. But that's the Corsair Hydro Series Extreme Performance Liquid H100i cooler, liquid cooler. This thing is pretty beastly. Now you can also go for something smaller. There's a couple of other things down here. You can go with the ADI, which I believe is a 180mm fan. I don't even know. Okay, so this one is a dual 240mm radiator. This guy over here is, oh, it's double thick, that's what it is. Double thick 120mm radiator. Pretty good. And it comes with two fans. No, go back up. And it comes with two fans, as you can see over here. So it's, you can put it in push-pull, and you'll be getting some pretty good performance out of that. And that's $12 cheaper. High performance, I wouldn't go for anything like that. High performance looks a little bit too thin. I mean, if you're on a really tight budget, $62.74 is not bad for an all-in-one liquid cooler. And then there's the Quiet Edition, which is even cheaper. It has a little cheaper looking heatsink, but I mean, whatever works. If you're not going to have an open system, you're not really going to care about what it looks like inside, go for it. Personally, if you're going to be overclocking this guy right here, might as well go for the more powerful water cooler. I'm losing my mind right now because it's 2:10 in the morning. But I mean, this thing is a beast. I have my 4770K running at 4.4 volts. Come on, 4.4 gigahertz, 1.35 volts. Not 100% sure. I haven't. The last time I tweaked my overclocking was about a month ago. So, and it's right now, I believe it's only running at like 45 degrees Celsius, and that's with all the streaming and everything that I do. So, I mean, this thing will help work really well. Now, it does only come with 2 of the SP120Ls in it. So, if you, I mean, Noctua did come out with new fans, but they are really expensive. If you're on a budget, just stick with these 2 fans. It'll work fine. I did that for the first 3 months of me owning this computer, and it's worked perfectly. It worked perfectly. I even overclocked it a little bit. It was a lower overclock. It was like 4.2. But once I got that push-pull configuration, night and day. It increases the performance like only like 10%, but it's still really, really nice to have that extra performance. Alright, other than that, I do want to make a special little I don't know what you'd say. It's kind of like a 6-pick, but not really, because it's not $100, under $100. It's not PC parts, but I do want to give a shout out to Sony for making a great device. There are a couple problems with it. I am going to do a review about it, but for right now, I just want to say the technology that they made, or that should have been out for a long time. They're the first ones to make this technology happen. It is the QX10. Now you can even get a better one. You can get an even more powerful camera. But essentially what it is, here I'll show you what mine is. I have it on this little tripod. But essentially what it is it's a little camera lens, and it has its own processor in here. It does mainly all of the camera's real work on here. The only thing is it displays on your phone. It is capable of shooting 1080p. It's great for vloggers, which I will be doing some vlogging when I go to CES next year. Check it out. Moving up in the world. Dang it. But essentially, if I can get this guy open. Put your phone right in there, like so. Now, common misconception is that you got to put it on the where the camera is. You don't. You can put it on the opposite side. You can put it in the middle, wherever. Slide it on right there, and shoot video, shoot pictures, anything. And now, the price tag on these guys are a little bit expensive. They are, right now it's $168. So it is eligible for free 2-day shipping. But it'll get lower. Trust me, it will. There'll be more coming out. I've talked to a lot of people. I'm friends with some Sony reps. They've informed me that it's been one of the most popular things out right now, especially with people with iPhones and Sony phones and Galaxy phones, because it's so versatile and so small. You can literally fit it in your pocket. People have been raving about this thing. And if you wanted to go a little bit classier, which honestly, if you're going to go this far, you might as well just get a DSLR. But they do have their that's not what I wanted to do. They do have their higher end version of this now. Here is the higher version, and Carl Zeiss, I believe that is the designer for, or not. See, I'm just getting into cameras. I don't even know what Carl Zeiss is or who he is. Hey, we're live streaming. Let's look him up. Carl. It is a lens type. Nice. Alright, cool. So, it's got a Carl Zeiss lens. Just found that out. Vario sonar. I don't even know what that means either. See, we're learning things every day. Now, these things are awesome. Oh, I guess white's not in Q100. Let's look at the specs. Alright. So essentially this is what they want it to look like. This one's a little bit bulkier. It's not as thin. I actually wanted it thinner. Not to mention this back plate can come off, which I do shoot a lot of video at home, so I don't even need the back plate. That is also where you put your SD card. Let's see if I can slide that guy open. I'll do it for the review, or I'll wait for the review. Oh. There we go. Alright, so it is pretty awesome. Now attach to turn your smartphone into DSLR-like camera. Yeah, you can take some pretty beautiful pictures with this camera attachment. This guy is going to be $418. That's why I basically say go get yourself a low to a little bit mid-range DSLR camera. Save up for a wide angle lens if you're going to do anything like that. Now, granted, wide-angle lenses are going to be, if you're going to be shooting video, of course, but any lenses they're going to be incredibly expensive. I would just, instead of spending $400 on this guy, which is bulky and stuff like that, just go save up for a DSLR. Now, if you want to buy this guy, you can probably find it some places for $100, less than $100, around $100, at minimum around $120. I know if you go to certain retail stores and they have returned ones or open box ones, as you will, you can get them for under $120. Now these retail for about $199, I believe. Let's check that again. Alright, so this is $168. I believe they retail for about $199. I'm not 100% sure, but they are very capable for any vlogger's needs. The sound is actually pretty amazing on these guys. And I don't know what else to say. It's bloody awesome. Alright. And if anyone is wondering, this is just a cheap little stand I do for like hand view shooting. Anyways, that's all. If you're wondering, if you want to know all the stuff that I've talked about in this video, I'll put it in the link. These things are pretty awesome. I mean, essentially what I gave you is a list of things you can purchase for under $100 that can go in your computer and work. Of course, you're going to need a hard drive. Duh. But, and a case / test bench. But this is basically all of your innards. Everything. Now you are going to need a graphics card for this, I believe. Oh, it does have Intel HD graphics, so you don't need the graphics cards, but it's Intel HD graphics. Yeah. Anyways, check it out. It's actually pretty funny. Guess there's 4 cores, 4 gigahertz, even though right here it says 2 cores and no hyper-threading. Amazon's got their shit fucked up. Anyways, see you guys later. Now you're gonna see some fucked up shit. Ah!